Siren 107.3, broadcasting to you from the university, a radio station for the whole community. Siren 107.3 FM for Lincoln.
Well, there you go.
That's classic. It did sound a bit Christmassy, though.
It does sound quite cool. You see something on that's a siren song, you try it out.
You're like, what's this? Play it. It's
That's
amazing.
a jolly start to the show.
That is the
was.
best thing I've ever heard.
Before we start, can we make sure all the levels are on and turned
They
up?
are. Emily.
They are?
Everyone can hear you,
Great.
I promise.
Okay, good. Just double checking.
Well, I don't know how I can beat that song, but welcome to the American Dream Team. It's Tuesday the 28th of February, 2012, and we're here at 5 o'clock till 7, the Drive Time Show, bringing you all things from America. And this week we have a bit of a movie special, seeing as it's Oscars week, and due to the interview we have later on, which we'll keep you in a bit more suspense about, or you may have seen on our Facebook page. I'm your host, Jack Harrison. I'm joined this evening by Ben Steele.
Hello.
Chloe Baker.
Hello.
Emily Brown.
Hiya.
And Jodie Orton.
Hello.
Welcome all. And on tonight's show, as I said, it's movie week, so we'll be reviewing the Oscars, looking at the winners and maybe the losers as well, although it's all about the winning.
I don't think if you get nominated for an Oscar, you count as being a
lose.
loser.
Exactly. So, Ben will have some sports news. We'll also be looking at some other news from America briefly. We will be looking at 3 books Jodie and Ben will be reviewing that they have from Waterstones, and Jodie will be telling you more about that after the news.
Yep, certainly will.
We'll also have a classic film of the week to look forward to. We won't give that away quite yet. We'll have the usual events and birthdays in history this week, and then, as I said, we have a very special interview later on, coming up about 6 o'clock. Oh, okay, there.
Sorry.
Which again we'll tell you about in a little bit. A new film called 6 Degrees of Hell, and so we're very much looking forward to that. And of course, the grand finale of February's Random American Quiz of the Week.
Ooh,
where I will be
building.
I will be putting movie-based questions to Ben and Emily.
I've won 1, Ben's won 2, so we'll see what happens.
It's all to play for.
It is. This is the 4th quarter, Ben. It's come around so quickly. Are you excited? I am.
I'm slightly worried I might throw away a 2-goal lead.
I hope so. I want to win.
You want to get?
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm quite scared.
Yeah,
Determination in my
tension in
voice.
the studio. It's building up a movie style sort of tension.
I wonder
here.
if this is what it's like at the Oscars.
I think it's a little bit more tense at the Oscars. Maybe.
They all put on their, oh, I'm happy.
Yeah, but they're...
Oh yeah, the faces. Oh, great, good for
Really,
you.
they're going...
If I lose, I'm not putting on I'm happy you won face.
You just swear loudly, and
Well, obviously not.
No, I'm a
Swearing
good
loud.
boy.
but they'll not hear you. You'll just be there in the background going, God damn, God. Just you're mouthing the movements in anger.
We shall see. I think Ben might have a bit of a meltdown, but we shall find out.
Well, when Ben gets nominated for an Oscar, that'll be the day.
Are you saying it might not happen?
I'm saying it definitely won't happen.
We can see how good he is at acting when, whether he wins or loses or whatever.
That's true. That's very
Okay.
true. All right, we'll see. You're
how
on,
good
Ben.
of a winner he is, or how good
I'm
of
a very good
Sore-
winner.
Sore loser.
I'm a sensational winner.
And of course, if you want to get involved in tonight's show, you can do via our Facebook page, facebook.com/sirenadt107, I believe. You can also tweet us, Ben.
Which is at SirenADT107.
And I'm sure Ben will be tweeting throughout the show, as he usually does.
I'll do my best.
I usually, when I check my computer later, I usually find we've been tweeting throughout the show and some interesting things that I've not seen, so that should be fun. And after the show, if you want to check out any of our previous highlights, or later in the week, if you want to re-listen to any of this show that you happen to miss, you can do that, Emily.
On our YouTube
You
page,
can.
which is the American Dream Team. I think literally that. On our YouTube. Gets uploaded every week.
Indeed.
So you should go and listen.
So there's no way to not get involved or to miss out on the American Dream Team. But as I said, we're going to start with the news, and we're going to start with the Oscars. Silent movie The Artist has triumphed at the Oscars, winning 5 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director and Best Actor for Jean Dujardin.
Great name.
I do
Jean
like that.
Dujardin.
It doesn't sound as good if you translate it.
Jean Dujardin.
John the Garden.
Oh, is that what it is? That took a while.
Not quite. But
Clearly my year 6 French is not coming back to me.
we'll see how we get on with this name. It is the first time since 1929 that a silent movie has won an Oscar. Director Michel Hazanavicius, I think that's how you say it, winning on his first nomination, thanked Oogie, the K9 star of the film, who we mentioned a few weeks ago on the American Dream Team, but added, "I don't think he cares." Fair enough.
I think he's just nonchalant. He's trying to act cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to let the fame go to his head.
No, he's a movie star,
Exactly. Huge movie star now.
The film also won Oscars for Best Original Score and Best Costume. The artist's main rival, Hugo, also took 5 awards. They were mainly in the technical categories. Elsewhere, Meryl Streep won Best Actress for her portrayal of former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady. It was her 17th Oscar nomination. That's incredible, and her 3rd win.
Did you listen to her speech?
That was my next line.
Sorry, continue.
She thanked the Academy and then joked, "When they called my name, I had this feeling I could hear half of America going, 'Oh no, not her again.'"
Not her again.
That was very humble.
No.
The Best Supporting Awards went to Christopher Plummer of Beginners and The Help's Octavia Spencer, respectively.
She was so emotional. It was so lovely.
She received a standing ovation before a very emotional acceptance speech, like you said. And Rango, Gore Verbinski's Western featuring the voice of Johnny Depp, won Best Animation. And I've got to say that was well deserved. I've seen that film and it's
I haven't seen Rango,
fantastic.
so it's well worth a watch.
Yeah. Billy Crystal returned to hosting duties at the 84th Awards, the 9th time he's done so. The ceremony began with a message from Morgan Freeman and a short comic video featuring Crystal popping up in various famous movies, including he kissed George Clooney kissed him in a. There's a scene from The Descendants. You've seen it, haven't you? Where
I did.
His wife's in the coma and he kisses her.
Yeah.
And George Clooney sort of reacts that scene, and then they pan down and Billy Crystal's in the coma. Yeah.
I didn't see that. Oh.
Which drew some laughs from the audience.
I'm sure that's hilarious.
He included plenty of jokes in his opening monologue, the best perhaps being when he quipped, in this time of financial hardship, what could be better than watching millionaires hand each other gold statues? And the Oscars wouldn't be complete without some controversy, provided this year by Sacha Baron Cohen.
Brilliant.
He arrived on the red carpet dressed in a white military uniform to promote his upcoming film, The Dictator, and he was holding an urn which he jokingly claimed contained the ashes of the late North Korean leader Kim Jong-il, which ended up being tipped over American Idol host Ryan Seacrest.
Who was not
Happy.
impressed.
It's well worth a watch on YouTube.
I walked in when it was just before it happened, and they poured it on him, and I was like, "It's this, you don't know, is it set up?" And you could just see him wrestling with it on his face because he knew something like 90 million people tuned in.
And the reporters next to him, I think they were from Europe or abroad. They're sort of passing him towels and napkins to wipe himself.
I know, and he was just sort of brushing it off, like trying to keep it going and trying not to get so. And
then some people did see the funny stuff. Tina Fey walked past and sort of bowed to the ashes. I thought that was quite funny.
It was very funny.
So that's the Oscars news. Obviously Emily watched a fair bit of it. Anyone else?
Well, actually, I didn't actually watch much of the ceremony because it's on very late. And it's I couldn't be bothered to go downstairs, and I didn't want to find a live stream online, so I kind of just followed it via Twitter, as I always do.
Me too. I was watching it live on Twitter.
Seriously, when there's an event, you just don't need to watch it. You just listen via Twitter. I think I heard Octavia Spencer won. I was like, awesome. But I didn't actually see it. I just read it.
Were you all happy with the results, everyone?
I thought they were quite predictable. I mean, someone, I can't remember who said it, but it was sort of new, said the artist had to win because it was too different not to.
That was the Siren ADT Twitter feed.
Was that you?
It was me. Yes.
Look at that. I'm actually taking on board what Ben says.
Yes, but not remembering that it was Ben that said it.
Ben. Well, I completely agreed with that. I think everybody knew it was going to win, and Meryl Streep, obviously. I think it was quite a predictable Oscars, but it sounds very entertaining, and I should probably actually watch the ceremony.
Well, it was good. Yeah, some of Billy Crystal's jokes and introductions were very funny.
Because a lot of people weren't sure about it, because obviously last year it was Anne Hathaway and James Franco, and everyone complained about them, but then everyone was complaining about Billy Crystal this year for being too boring. So, yeah.
But everyone, complain when they change and then complain.
Exactly.
Someone's always going to complain, I suppose.
No one's ever happy.
Meanwhile, in other news...
I think Meryl should host.
That would be interesting. She's there more than others,
exactly.
I suppose. So. In other news, Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum will go head-to-head later today in 2 crucial primary votes as the battle to be the Republican nomination for president continues. Both candidates have been campaigning intensively over the past few days in Arizona and Michigan, with the latest poll suggesting Mitt Romney has edged slightly ahead, quite far ahead in Arizona and slightly ahead in Michigan. For Romney, whose father was governor and the state of his birth, Michigan is seen as a must-win state. I know there was a debate on last week. I know you were watching it, Emily. I saw you were tweeting, and I did stay up to watch that.
Following it probably on Twitter.
On Twitter, yes.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting.
Or trying to watch like the minute-by-minute updates. I just got too annoyed and frustrated, and I had to go to bed.
But, some of the things.
They just don't. There's no like here or nor there, as we were saying. Was it last week? That they're so blunt about their beliefs. There's not all this sort of like English politicians do, sort of fluff around the issue. No, they're straight there, tell you what they like, what they don't like, and so it just makes you angry. unless you agree with them.
Well, I suppose you know where they stand, I suppose.
I know, at least they're, again, air quotes, honest.
Yeah. Also, news from Ohio, a student has been killed. It was sort of breaking news earlier today that a second person had died, actually. But at least one student has been killed and 4 others injured in a high school shooting in Chardon, Ohio. The gunman opened fire in the cafeteria at Chardon High School, the FBI said, which was busy at breakfast time. Authorities say the suspected gunman fled the scene but was chased by a teacher and eventually gave himself up. So assuming that's quite a brave teacher for chasing after someone
That's
with a
a
gun.
very brave teacher. And I'm surprised he gave himself up.
Yeah.
Usually they don't. They do something else, and that's the end of that.
Those stories always seem to end with, and then turned the gun on himself.
Exactly.
Also.
Yeah.
He is now in custody. 2 of those wounded are said to be in a critical condition and another in a serious condition. All schools in Chardon will be closed on Tuesday and a vigil has been scheduled for Tuesday evening, so that's tonight. And the final story this week, Michael Douglas, who played a greedy executive in the movie Wall Street, is the new FBI spokesperson against insider trading. In the movie, Mr. Douglas played the character Gordon Gekko, who famously boasted that greed is good. For critics, the phrase came to embody the excesses of the Wall Street boom years and the subsequent problems, which we're now seeing today. However, in his new role, Mr. Douglas is warning executives against following his on-screen credo. The movie was fiction, but the problem is real, he said in an announcement. Our economy is increasingly dependent on the success and integrity of the financial markets. If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
Good advice to follow, I suppose.
Agree with that.
And that's the news this week. Ben with the sport.
Okay. We've had the NBA have had their annual All-Star game this weekend, which the Western Conference won, beating the Eastern Conference 152-149 in a game that doesn't really see anybody really trying to defend. Kevin Durant of the Oklahoma City Thunder was named most valuable player. There's a lot more things than just that game go on during the All-Star weekend. There's also the slam dunk competition, which this year was won by Jeffrey Evans of the Utah Jazz, and the three-point shooting competition, which was won by Minnesota Timberwolves' Kevin Love. I'm a big fan of that name.
Mr. Love.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Love and Mr. Steele.
Yes, I think we
that
could put together a good team. But no, also in basketball news, Jeremy Lin is attempting to trademark his sort of name that he's got going about, Linsanity. He's trying to trademark that. I don't really know what's going on there. But just trying to make money whenever people...
money off it,
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, every time you hashtag Linsanity.
I don't know. I would hope that would seem slightly complicated, but I suppose it could happen. American football has seen the NFL scouting combine start, which sees the best college players from around the country go to Indianapolis and work out for NFL scouts. Big story is all sort of working out who's going to be number one, who's going to be the number one pick overall. It seems to be it's either going to be one of 2 quarterbacks, either Andrew Luck or Robert Griffin III, a fantastically American name, who impressed scouts with his. I think it was he ran the 40-yard dash a lot quicker than anybody was expecting him to do it. I don't actually know the time, but that has impressed people because it means he can do more than just throw the ball around. In the NHL, I have the New York Rangers and the Vancouver Canucks are leading their respective divisions. And finally, a sport I don't really go to particularly often, car racing. There's the Daytona 500, which was this weekend. It was on Monday, actually. It was delayed by a day due to rain. And then during the race was delayed by a further 2 hours as people sort of rushed to try and put out a fire that was caused by a crash involving former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya. The race was eventually won by Matt Kenseth. It's the 54th time that this race has been driven. That is the sport.
I did see some video of that when the fire. He crashed into a safety truck or something that was carrying jet fuel.
That's an error.
Along those, yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Both the driver of the truck and Montoya were unhurt, weren't they?
That's amazing.
It was a massive fire. Absolutely huge.
Well, it was full of jet fuel. I'm not surprised.
Well, it took them 2 hours to put it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the news and sports news. As I said, coming up very soon, Ben and Jodie will be reviewing some books and telling us all about them. And we'll also be looking at Classic Film of the Week. First, we have another song, and we didn't get to play her last week, but she did win at least one Brit Award.
She did. She won a Brit Award. I was so proud.
This is Lana Del Rey in video games.